Hi, this is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a really simple tutorial about putting together a very simple signature for a junk journal. Sometimes putting together a signature for a junk journal can be kind of daunting because you think you have to have all of the perfect papers and all of the perfect book pages and the ledger paper and everything else, but that's really not true. So we're going to jump right into this and I'm going to show you a very easy way to put together an extremely satisfying signature for a junk journal. I'm featuring a papers from Digital Curio, and these are called Honeybee Ephemera, I believe. I will post her shop below, and you definitely want to go join her Facebook group so that you can get the freebie of the month, which is the painted butterflies. I've worked with those. You definitely want them. So here's the beautiful papers, and all I did was print them double-sided. Now this one, I wound up printing the, this is like her page that shows what some of the different ones are, and I don't want this in the journal, so I'm going to use this as the cover, and I'm going to glue it to this piece of 110-pound cardstock to make a cover. I'll stitch around it later. This is not a tutorial about stitching. It's a tutorial on putting together a very quick and simple junk journal. I've had people ask me or say things like, I don't know how to get started. I've been collecting for a long time, but I just don't know how to get started and I don't know what to do and all of that. And my answer is you're overthinking it. Really all you need, all we're going to be doing is coffee dyed paper and these printables. And if you don't have a printer, you can take them to Staples or Office Max, something like that. And if you don't want to do that, you can just go get your favorite scrapbook paper pad from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and the same thing works. So I'm going to stitch around that later, and this is going to be our cover. All you do for a cover is fold a piece of cardstock in half. You cannot get simpler than that. Our cover is done. Now you'll see that there's a white border printed around. A lot of printers do that unless you have a borderless printer, which I don't. I'm going to tell you two ways. You can either trim it off, or what we're going to do today is use a little bit of black ink and ink up the edges. For the cover, I'm going to be using lace to cover it. I'm not going to go into that for the tutorial. You could just do a little bit of black ink and leave it just like this. You will see the finished version of this journal later on when I'm done embellishing it and everything in a separate video. So all of these pages, I believe that there were 16 pages, so I did 8 pages double-sided. So they're just double-sided like so, and I used 28-pound paper. You can't really see through it, so you can print 2 pages back to back like this, but it's not too thick. It's still a good it's still thin enough, I guess is what I want to say, so that you can easily put it in a journal without making it too bulky. So that's what I did here. And then what I like to do is 15 pages, which makes 60 when they're folded in half. And so what I did was I have 8 pages printed here from Honeybee Ephemera. So I grabbed 7 pages of coffee dyed paper. If you don't have coffee dyed paper, you can just use any other paper that you want, just white paper or whatever. So then we're just going to quickly fold all of these in half, including the coffee dyed pages. This is great to do. Well, I can do it really quickly, but if you're making a couple journals, you can sit down in front of your favorite show and just fold papers. I just did 2 parakeet journals, and they were 96 pages each, well, folded in half, so there were 20, I believe 24 full sheets. And I just sat there folding and folding and folding. So we're just going to fold everything in half. And if you're new to junk journals, a signature might be a word that you're not really sure. You think a signature is like, you know, when you sign on the dotted line, but a signature in bookmaking is a little booklet of papers and then you can have multiple signatures make up your whole book. We're just doing a 1 signature book. It's the way that you put the papers together so that when you open them, it flips like a normal book you would buy in the store. And if you look at books bought in the store, a lot of times they have signatures too. If you look at the spine, you'll be able to see the pages folded like this. So once we have all of these, I'm going to tell you a really simple formula. We're not even adding book pages, so that makes it super easy. If you love book pages, like I'm going to be doing, is just adding some book pages clipped in here and there, or making pockets or things like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to choose, and it doesn't matter, they're all beautiful. So I'm just going to grab one. I'm going to grab a bee paper, and then I'm just going to lay a coffee dyed paper inside, and I'm just going to go back and forth. So one of the bee papers, one of the coffee dyed papers, one of the bee papers, one of the coffee dyed papers. And I'm going to do that till there's no pages left. Again, don't overthink it. Sometimes it's easy to get so, like people say, it takes me hours to put together, you know, a journal. And yes, sometimes it does, but sometimes a lot of that time can be redeemed by just not overthinking it. When you're doing this, you just one and the other, and we're done. So this is a signature. This is called a signature. Here's our cover, and we're just gonna pop it right in there, and then you can do a pamphlet stitch or sew these together. This is not a video about that. This is just about assembling a very simple signature. And then I'm just going to show you my idea with inking the edges, so you don't have to trim. You can just do a really messy inking like so. And that looks amazing. So I hope that this gave you some inspiration. I think that this is wonderful even if you're an advanced junk journaler, someone who's been making a lot of journals. Just a reminder to not overthink. You can make something absolutely beautiful with just coffee dyed paper and some printables. And you don't have to overthink it. I have made many, 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 many junk journals, and I'm still blown away by the simplicity of it. I'm still blown away at how amazing something can be when you just take something simple. So please check out Digital Curio, buy your Honeybee Ephemera papers. Her prices are incredible, definitely worth it. You can use them over and over again, and make sure that you go over to her Facebook group, which is just called Digital Curio. Pick up those painted butterflies for free, because you'll definitely want to use those in your journals. I can't wait to show you this journal when it is finished, and get it sent off to its new home.